Ashoka Mody, Professor of Economics from Princeton University in the United States. Welcome to WPC TV. You've just been in a very interesting discussion on the future of the euro. And you were very down on the euro as really as a concept. What future do you see for the euro? Or do you think it is bound to break apart?
You know, nobody can predict history in such a very definitive way. I think it was an ill-thought project. It has created both economic divergence in Europe, and it has deepened political divisions. I am not able to see how these wounds can be healed. I fear that they will continue to get deeper, not in a linear way, not always, but at critical junctures of history when there is stress on the system, these wounds will get aggravated.
Were you surprised that Greece did not leave the Eurozone? Because obviously the strains have been greatest on Greece in particular.
Yeah, so the reason Greece did not leave the Eurozone is twofold. One is that my understanding is that Chancellor Merkel did not want the Eurozone to break up under her watch. She was willing to do pretty much anything to keep it going. It is also true that Alexis Tsipras did an about turn and agreed in large measure to the policies that were required by the European Commission and by the German authorities. As I said in my final remarks at the meeting, the fact that Greece has not left the Eurozone is not yet, or even remotely yet, a matter of celebration. It is true that Greece is stabilized, but its economy is 25% smaller than it was. But more seriously, Greek democracy has essentially been undermined. For the next 20 years, maybe next 40 years, all essential fiscal decisions in Greece will have to be authorized by the European Commission and therefore implicitly by some German or French or other powers. That may seem like a reasonable equilibrium, but I cannot visualize how a nation continues to subject itself.
Well, let me ask you then a final question. If, given that it's not an optical currency union, given the economic divergences, assuming that nation states remain, how long do you think the Eurozone can last?
You know, again, I don't think anybody...
Because presumably the implication of what you're saying is that there has to be a political union and a fiscal union to
Yes.
preserve the euro.
There has to be fundamentally a political union. Not even a fiscal union will come organically, legitimately, only if there is a political union. Sometimes Europeans talk about fiscal union without a political union. That's an oxymoron. You need a political union. You need something that's very close to a United States of Europe to create a fiscal union that has the appropriate legitimacy and authority. I don't think that that will ever happen.
Well, on that note, I think an awful lot of people will agree with you, others will not, of course. Professor Mody, thank you so much.
Oh, thank you very much.
Kind. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.